Hey there, this is Matt Allington. So here is my data extract, which I got by doing a DOS dir command. You can read about that in my blog article. And here's the file format. You can see that it has the name of a folder or a directory followed by a whole lot of subfolders, in case these are actually subdirectories. And then when you get into one of those individual directories, if there are files, you'll see that the file names appear there. So it's not a great format, but it's definitely something that Power Query can handle. So I'm going to show you how to extract this data into a database table format. So I'm going to close down this file and then import it using Power Query for Excel. So normal get data from file from a text file, and then I just have to browse to my folder. So here is the file. And you can see that it detects it as being just a standard text file. Hasn't done any transformation, which is fine. I'd like to do that myself anyway. Okay, so now what I really need to do before I do anything else is I need to get these directory names into a new column so that I can copy it down. So we've got here a space followed by a directory that seems to be repeating all the way down. So what I could do is use a column from example, and just here I'm just going to type in directory, and column from example has correctly identified everywhere that the word directory appears. Alright, so there's directory. So now if there's the word directory here, then I want to extract the name of the directory. So I'm just going to count these number of characters. So 14 characters there. So what I can do is I can add a custom column. So I say if this equals directory, then actually what I'll just do is just grab the whole column. It's probably easier to use the UI, and then I'm going to actually, what I'll do here is I'll just do a replace values space directory of space, basically to get rid of the stuff at the front. I might just do a bit of a trim, like just in case there's any leading or lagging spaces that I can't see, and then I just have to do a fill down, and so now I've got the directory path or the folder path appearing on every line. I can get rid of these nulls because they will only appear in the first 3 rows. And okay, look, what else do we need to do here? I don't need this anymore. I certainly don't need any of these blanks, so I'll get rid of them. I also don't need anything with the word directory of, so I'll get rid of that. I'll just copy that code from down there and say text filters does not begin with the bit of text that I cut and paste, so get rid of those. I also don't need anything that's got this 3 files, 5 files, 0 files, so the common pattern here is files. So I'm just going to go text filters does not contain, remembering this is case sensitive. Okay, so get rid of the files. I also want to get rid of anything with the dir. So let's go does not contain dir. Okay, so that looks pretty clean. So all well, and now we have a fixed width here. Not really sure how many there are. Looks like about 15. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the column by number of characters. Let's just say 18. Now, I missed the AM PM, so get rid of this auto change type step. Let me change that from, if you can't see this formatting bar, make sure you turn that on. It's very important to have the formula bar on. It just makes everything easier to edit. So I'm going to change that to 20. Okay, that seems to get rid of this change type. Just make sure it's right before I proceed. Okay, so that looks good. So I'm going to transform that now. All right, so that's now date and time. And so this is my file size. I'm going to trim this, get rid of the leading spaces again. And the first instance of a space is where I need to break between the file size and the file name. So I just do a split column by delimiter. It's a space. Okay, and then this is in bytes. So I might do a standard divide by 1024 to give me kilobytes. And I might round that to the nearest, say 2. And I'm going to call this KB. Alright, so this is the file name. And okay, I think that's it. And this is the path. So let's just do a close and load and have a look, see what happens. Two errors. Okay, so whenever you get errors, normally just click on the hyperlink. Let's have a look at what's going on. If you click on these errors, it will create a new step. If you just click here in the space, you'll actually be able to see down here what the error is all about. Total, this looks like some sort of footer. All right, let's go and investigate. If I go all the way to the bottom. Okay, so we basically want to get rid of 1, 2, 3, like 3 or 4 rows from the bottom before we do anything else. So let's come up here and I'll just insert a step, remove bottom rows. I think I'll be safe with 4. So get rid of the bottom 4 rows. Let's see what that does to the errors. Okay, so all the errors are gone. I can just delete this errors query and then close and load, and let's see how many files we have left. Okay, so now I've got my primary storage files, the path and the file names in this folder. I can do the same for my backup. So I'm going to duplicate the query because the query should essentially be the same. Let me call this my backup. And I really want to join on the folder path. First of all, let me change this. Just have to check for the other file name, USB data. Okay, so it's a different file name. Everything else should be the same, I would expect. Okay, so in order to do a comparison, what I need to do is I need to get a root starting position. So this starting position here is different to this starting position here. So what I'll do is I'll just replace this. Put a double dot, simple for parent folder. Okay, I think that looks all right. And if I do the same for the backup, copy that, replace values. Okay, so now the root folder is double dot /scan. Okay, so the order of the files is different, but that's okay. So now I have my two queries and I should be able to join them together. So I'm going to do a merge as new. Path and path, hold the control key, file name, file name. I'll do a left anti-join, rows only in first. So in other words, give me the ones that are missing in the second one. And now that that's finished, there they are. There's only two files that are missing. Because there's two files, I can find out, or in actual fact they came from the root folder, I can manually copy them across, rerun the DOS extracts, and then rerun the test to make sure that I've got everything covered.